itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut.
Dvanvatidam anasavasham tattvamashyadilaksham Egam nityam vimalamachalam sarvadi shakshibhutam Bhavatitam tranaragitam sadgurum tam namami. Yes, Nithyananda everyone, we welcome you all back to today's introduction to Paramashivoham level 3 session. And today we're going to have a live Satsang directly from the Supreme Pontiff and Hinduism. Before starting today's segment, a few security measures from the KAILASA's national security agencies. A photography, video, and audio recording of any kind is strictly prohibited during all the sessions. Be on mute, be on camera throughout the class. If you need to step out in any situation, please inform the digital security officers. And here are a few important cautions before starting today's segment. We welcome all the Kailasa Vasis attending from the Kailasa's monasteries, gurukuls, temples, ashrams, and centers from around the world. We welcome all the NTV, Kailasa TV, Hindusano TV, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube viewers, and all those who are blessed to have an Anna Diksha, the two-way video conferencing, who are joining us for today's ritual program. Now let us have a short brief introduction about the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th living incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, and is recognized by his predecessors, Enlightened masters and adepts. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based university a lifestyle for humanity. Let us see about the coronations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Before 1981, he is identified as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva by the spiritual adepts and enlightened masters of Hinduism. In 1981, he is initiated into Bala Sannyas and Chaturmasya at the age of 3. In 1988, he is coronated as the future Guru Mahasannidhanam, the Pontiff of Thondai Mandala Adinam, the oldest monastic university. Moving on to the next year, 1994, he became the successor of Arunachala Sarvanyapeetham by Guru Parampara. In 1999, he founded the mission Nithyananda Sangha to revive Kailasa internationally. And the same year, he is coronated as the successor of Kashi Sarvanyapeetham. 2002, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded Adi Kailasa Sarvanyapeetham, and 2004, he is declared as the successor of Bhagyanagara Sripura Sarvanyapeetham, and also he became the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam of Suryavamsa lineage. And 2007, declared as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adi Pallava Sarvanyapeetham, and also as the Mahamandleshwara of Mahanirvani Akhada. Moving on to the next year, 2012, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Shyamalapita Sarvanyapeetham, the oldest Hindu papal state and the monastic kingdom of Hinduism. 2013, he is officially coronated as the Mahamandaleshwar, the supreme spiritual head of Mahanirvani Akhada, the largest apex monastic order, and he became the youngest Mahamandaleshwar. And the same year, he is also declared as the Acharya Mahamandaleshwar of the Atal Akhada, the oldest monastic order of Hinduism by Acharya Mahamandaleshwar Shukdevanandaji, the incumbent spiritual head. 2014, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Thanjavur Adinam, Tiruvavur Adinam, Vedaranyam Adinam, and Panchanatikulam. In 2015, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is declared as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti, Sorgapuram Adinam, and also as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adipita Koladamata. In 2015, he is elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by Acharya Mahaman, by the congregation of over 1,000 spiritual leaders and the pontiffs of Hinduism. Next, we'll be looking at the global initiatives taken by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Sri Kailasa across the globe. So 28 years of relentless humanitarian services and initiatives, including free vegetarian food, medical services, natural disaster relief, women empowerment initiatives, conflict resolution and peace initiatives, sustainable Hindu practice through various international agencies and bodies. He authored 300 books and 10,000 articles in 3 languages, English, Tamil, and Sanskrit, which is translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. Over 20 million copies of books and articles sold read, and downloaded. He has also established the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million pound scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. He is also revered as the most prolific and most viewed guru in the digital world, read and watched by 1 billion plus followers in the Hinduism, over 10,000 hours of discourses, and over 1 billion views on the social medias. Supreme Founder of Hinduism is also respected as a commentator of all sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavatara Gita, and Jain Sutras. He is honored as the leader of Hinduism, the most awarded internationally recognized Hindu leader. He is also acclaimed as one of the top influential living personalities by Vatican's Mind, Body, Spirit magazine. The sovereign order of KAILASA, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam, and the Nithyananda order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora are working for a global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to the humanity. He is established the largest Hindu university in the world with satellite campuses in 150 countries. He is also the established of 1,000 plus KAILASA's Enlightened ecosystems. He is also the founder and the reviver of 100 Sarvanya Pitams. So with that, we'll be moving on to the next segment where we're going to enter into the demonstration of spiritual powers after a short break. We request each one of you to stay tuned. Nithyanandam.
Itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. your consciousness as power at this moment to swallow, digest, clean up all negativity and all toxins.
Nithyananda everyone, we welcome you back. So now we'll look into the science of power manifestation and the various pramanas related to the science of power manifestation. So in the Veda Agmas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every human being is hardwired to manifest more than 463 plus powers. Through the third eye, manifesting powers are described as the system, method, and the science for human beings to explore the various possibilities, powers, and have access to the various states of consciousness. Paramashiva, who is the source of all the Shaktis, is also the primordial divinity in Hinduism, who is the ultimate reality and cause, self-effulgent, which is Swayam Prakasha, all-pervading, unchanging, beyond time, space, form, and causality. At the fundamental base of Avyakta, the unmanifest, and the Vyakta, the manifest existence, he performs the Panchakritya, or the 5 cosmic acts of Srishti, which is creation, Sthiti, which is sovereign rulership and maintenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Tirobhava, pulling out of delusion, and Anugraha, which is liberating grace on all the living beings. So how do we manifest the powers? What is the science behind the manifesting powers? So every ultimate truth, the cosmic truths, or the powerful cognitions, when it gets mapped into our consciousness, it manifests as the possibility and power of that being. So this is the fundamental science of manifesting powers. So today, the initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will now be demonstrating the powers of body scanning and sharing with all the experiences and result of the extraordinary manifestation of the divine powers awakened in us through the Diksha initiation. So we request all the viewers who want to experience the science of power manifestation, specifically the science of the power of body scanning, you can request for a body scanning in the live chat in the YouTube. So in this power of body scanning, one awakens to the ability to scan the illnesses, disease, and medically diagnosed issues and provide solutions through the awakened third eye. So through this power manifestation, you can get the solutions for whatever body issues, whatever the physical issues that you have, and also you can get the solutions scanning both together. So now we look into the Shastra Pramana, which is one of the method to authenticate the science of power manifestations, specifically the power of body scanning. So this Shastra Pramana is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, where Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from subtle to subtlest constitute a principle of your whole body or of the whole universe simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in the source cause. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all the thoughts. And the ultimate universal divine power, Paradevi, Adi Shakti, is revealed and the supreme power manifestation happens. So this is the direct revelation from Bhagavan Paramashiva. Now we'll be moving to the Apta Pramana. The Apta Pramanas are the experiences of the Vedic rishis who time tested and authenticated the Shastra Pramana or lived the sciences. So Teraya, who was a great Siddhana prominent disciple of Rishi Agatya, one day a man suffering from the severe headache comes to Agatya for healing. Agatya uses the power of body scanning and identifies the root cause of the headache. He reveals that there is a small Teraya sitting in the person's brain. Agatya immediately instructs Teraya, his disciple, to perform an open heart surgery and remove the Teraya. After the surgery is completed, the person is healed and cured of the disease, and thus he gained the name Teraya. The Atma Pramana, and this is from the life of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So on 22nd December 2019, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, revealed how he uses the power of body scanning. So paraphrasing his words, only when I had the multiple compound hand fracture, I was forced to go for surgery, and therefore for the medical checkups related to that. At that time, the doctor detected the heavy metal quantity in the different organs of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. It was revealed that he had been poisoned without the knowledge. He immediately used the diagnostic method instead of medical facility to study the body conditions due to the poisoning. Through the body scanning, he found out what the problem imbalances had happened and where the balance has to be done. He used the allopathy as a second opinion to verify the findings. So this is the Atma Pramana from the life of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So today, as we demonstrate the power of body scanning, you have a great opportunity to receive this initiation directly from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism during the program Paramashivoham. So as the living incarnation of Paramashiva, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, embodies the most profound yogic states that surpass all the bounds of time, space, and matter. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will be gifting this pure, the great science of third eye awakening, along with many other spiritual powers through the Diksha, and millions of people have already been initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and have been experiencing the profound results as extraordinary powers in their everyday life. You can receive all these initiations by attending Paramashivoham program, and you can register yourself for this program by visiting on the link kailasa.org/Paramashivoham. So you can visit this link and register your name for attending this program, and through that program, you're going to be receiving the various initiations and various other sciences where you are going to be experiencing the deeper states of consciousness and the deeper experiences of power manifestations and experiences of the higher loka. So there are many other experiences that you will be getting. You can get the more information about this program on this website kailasa.org/Paramashivoham. So with this, we'll be moving to the power demonstrations after a short break. Please stay tuned.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself.
Yes, Nithyanandam, welcome back. So in the last segment, we have seen the science behind the power of body scanning. Now we'll be entering into the actual demonstration of the power of body scanning. We have with us Mr. Manohar, who asked for the power of body scanning. Now I'll be connecting in oneness with Paramashiva by chanting the Mahavagya, remembering Swamiji my third eye, and experience oneness with the Paramashiva. And I'm going to manifest the power of body scanning. And I'm going to reveal what Paramashiva is going to show. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Param. Yes. What Swamiji showed me is the amount of allergy, the recent allergies you're having is because of your practices of your job, which you are doing in your chemical industry. It is because of the inhalation you're having, all the chemicals, and also the physical contact of the chemicals. The only solution is start having the neem juice in the morning and also start making the paste of neem and apply in all the body surfaces where you're having the current allergies. Only by doing this, you'll be able to completely heal out of these allergies and you can have a very happy and healthy lifestyle. So with that, we'll be moving on to the next segment where we're going to see about the Ishanya, the KAILASA's Ishanya project, where the Supreme Point of Hinduism has announced this project of KAILASA's Ishanya. So we're going to go over on what this project is all about and what is the goal of this project. But understanding the truth behind the common world now, the humanity as a modern society have reached almost all the state of technology, infrastructure to provide food, clothing, and medical care for all the 8 billion peoples, what we call as a planet Earth, the planet Earth home. But unfortunately, our decision makers have not reached the necessary conscious level to make these humanitarian decisions of providing basic needs for Yes, welcome back. Sorry for the glitch. See, as we are discussing that this is the direct statement from the Supreme Point of Hinduism that he said that humanity as a modern society, we have reached all the state of technologies and infrastructure to produce and provide food, the clothing and medical care, all the basic necessities for all the 8 billion peoples. But unfortunately, our decision makers are not up to the conscious level where we can make this humanitarian decision to providing these basic needs for all the 8 billion peoples. The survival needs for 8 billion peoples doesn't depend on the availability of the housing and the food, but rather than the conscious level of decision makers. It is the only consciousness we lack and nothing else. It is only because of this conscious decision we are not able to provide the basic need for all the 8 billion people. That is why there's so much of poverty, so much of people not able to get a proper medical care across the globe. So just a small glimpse of the today's world. One is the food wastage. Next is the medical equipment wastage. On the other side, there is a cloth wastage. See, one side we have seen the dumps and like tons and tons of foods are dumped into your ocean and landfills to keep the price and also lack of transport. But on the other side, millions are dying due to the hunger. On the other side, one side, the people's dump the medical equipment, single use, which can be reused just one side, the upgradation of the technology. The single use medicine equipments are dumped into landfill. On the other side, many lakhs for basic medical equipments itself. One side, dumps and dumps of like tons of clothes are dumped into the landfills, which is single used, which can be reused again because of the fashion and the trending fashions. On the other side, people are struggle to have basic necessities. So in this, why there is a need for Kailasa project? So why Kailasa took up this project? To recover, to give what is getting dumped to the people who are in need. So this is a very fact about the food wastage across the globe, which is 1 out of 3 people, 1 out of 3 amount of food which is produced is getting dumped. On the other side, 35 million peoples are in food poverty across the globe. See, 1/3 of the food produced in the world for a human consumption every year, approximately 1.3 billion tons, are get lost or waste in the landfills or the oceans. The food losses and the waste amount to roughly US dollars of $680 billion in industrialized countries and around 130, $310 billion in developing countries. But on the other side, 155 million people in 55 countries or the region faced to have a food crisis in 2021, which is also because of the COVID-19 reasons. And it is increased from 155 to 265 million, which is just in 2021 itself. Even if the 1/4 of the food which is getting currently wasted or lost, if we just be able to save this and pass it to the people who are in need, we can bring out of almost 870 million people out of hunger. Around 35 million people dying from the hunger worldwide. A child dies from hunger every 10 seconds. While we are reading this information, while we are observing this information, within the 10 seconds, one child across the globe is going to face a death because of the hunger. But on the other side, we have, as we say in the fact, that is 1/3 of the food every day the human life is, human consumption is producing is getting wasted. So poor diets are linked to total 20% of all deaths across the globe. So these are some of the facts about the medical equipment wastage across the globe, which is 5.25 billion worth of medical equipments are just discarded, which is single used and which can be reused also. On the other side, 100 million people across the globe don't have the proper medical care. This is statistics just from the US, which is says the US medical waste will attain US dollar of 5.2 billion by 2027. Among regulated and unregulated clinical waste, around 80 to 85% can be reused. So whatever the medical wastage are currently dumped now, out of that 80 to 85% can be reused. This is statistics from the USA. The unused supplies in the medical facilities are often discarded unnecessarily rather than stored for later use, adding even more unnecessary garbage being carted away to the landfills. The reprocessing industry saving 15 million pounds of medical waste from the landfills and reducing costs to the hospital and surgical centers by over US dollars of 544 million. There are many NGOs across the globe who are already taken up this project, and we are successfully doing. By doing this, they are able to reduce this hospital surgical cost of around $544 million. But on the other side, the world's poorest countries are paying some of the highest drug prices, with everyday medicine costing up to 30 times more than the rich nations. It is because of the lack of medical equipment they are paying 30 times for the basic medical necessaries. Half of the world lacks access to the essential healthcare services, which is around 100 million still pushed to extreme poverty because of the health expenses. It is not because of the not availability of the medical care. It is because of where there is a need, there is so much of lack, and there is excess, people are getting dumped and it is not being reused. So that is why Sri Kailasa has taken up this project to collect wherever there is excess, which can be reused, which can be transported to the people in need. So these are some of the facts about the cloth wastage, which is 59,000 tons of clothes are getting wasted every year across the globe. On the other side, 1 out of 8 people who don't have the proper clothes, and which leading to the health hygiene problems as well. So these are some of the facts, which is 100 billion garments are produced each year, which is in which 33% are going to landfill, which is 1/3 of the clothes are produced each year is going to the landfill, which is reused, which can be reused, and all of them are single used. Every year, 59,000 tons of used and unsolded clothes end up in civilians from all over the world. And on other side, every 10 minutes, an estimated 6,000 kilos of clothing and textiles are dumped into landfill, which is every 10 minutes. But in fact, there is 1 in 8 children without basic clothes. 1 billion children worldwide are multidimensionally poor without access to the basic necessities. So these are the two sides of the coin. It's like one side, 1 out of 3 like amount of clothes are produced each year is going to the landfill, which is can be reused, which is single used and unsolded. On the other side, 1 out of 8 people who don't have the proper clothing. And 22,000 children die each day due to the hygiene around the world. So having a proper clothing, basic accessories, it's also a reason for improper hygiene across the globe. And this is about the vacant homes and shelter. Because of the due to the recent COVID restrictions, we have seen the term, which is very familiar in the common world now, it is homeless, shelterless. The world has millions of vacant homes. Around 42 millions of its 426 million homes are vacant, which is roughly 1 in 10 homes in advanced economic countries are empty. And in the list, Japan is the top list, which is having the high percentage of vacant homes, which is 13.6%, and around 1 million are in Canada. There's a 27% increase in the homeless, which is likely due to the economic impact of COVID-19, which brought down many industries, which leads to the many people into the homeless. More than 1/3 of the all people facing homeless services are women and children. For the last 5 years, the core homelessness have been rising year on year worldwide. The homeless people are over 9 times more likely to have their own life, take up their own life than the general population. Because if it is like people are not in the home and they are forced to these homeless situations, they are having all the kind of physical and mental health problems as well. So 78% of homeless people reported having the physical health conditions, 44% of them having the mental diagnostics, and 41% of the people use drugs and alcohol to cope up with the mental health issues. So these are some of facts about the vacant homes and shelters.
So now, after looking at the facts and figure, now we are going to be looking into what KAILASA aim to achieve through this KAILASA Isanya project. So one of the main aim is to raise the conscious level in the world and bring to the fore level before the real issues facing the world, and through the specialized process of recycling, facilitating the movement of the goods of the good quality unwanted items from the haves to the have not. So here the KAILASA through the Ishanya project brings 2 main aims. One is to raise the conscious level, as Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism pointed out, that humanity, the most of the problem that humanity is facing, especially poverty, is not because of the lack of resources, but because we lack the consciousness. So through this KAILASA Ishanya project, the KAILASA aim to raise the consciousness level of at least 1 crore people and bring out at least 1 crore people out of the poverty at the same time. So this Chaturmasya, which starts from the Guru Purnima and ends in the Navaratri, on this 4 month, we aim to bring 1 crore people out of the poverty and raise the consciousness level to 1 crore people. So there are threefold benefit, and these benefits for everyone who is going to be participating in this project. So for the donors, it's a great boon to provide those who are in the need and receive the great blessings of Paramashiva. And for the world, recycling is going to remove a lot of hazardous material from the nature, adding a cleaner environment. And for those in the need, millions of people around the world will be alive, raised out of poverty, hunger, inadequate health practices due to lack of medical facilities, food, or clothing. So it's going to be a win-win situation for everyone, whether it is the person who is going to be receiving, person who is going to be donating, and the world also. How KAILASA is also going to be playing the role. So over the last 27 years, Sri KAILASA has built a network of legal entities in around 140 countries, holding charity status in 118 of these countries. In many countries, Sri KAILASA entities are registered distributors as well, meaning we can manage the entire process end to end. So Sri KAILASA will make full use of this network to collect clothing, medical equipments, food material from the developed nations, transport them, distribute it to the countries and regions in the need, with all the transportations and distribution expenses sponsored by the Sri KAILASA. So we request all of you to visit our official website, kailasa.org/Ishanya, to discover our process. And also you can apply here to be part of this great project launched by Paramashiva himself. So with this, we are going to be moving to the next segment where we are looking, we'll give the process on how to raise our consciousness to start manifesting wealth in our life, or in short, how to build the wealth consciousness to get out of any kind of poverty that we have in our life. We'll do so after a short break. We request all the viewers to stay tuned. We'll be back after a short break.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. consciousness has power at this moment to swallow, digest, clean up all negativity and all toxins. Develop a powerful will persistence. That's the most important asset for life.
Nithyananda, everyone, welcome back to the segment. So now we'll be looking into some of the facts with respect to the poverty around the world. So around 9.2% of the world, or 689 million people, live in the extreme poverty, and which is less than $1.9 a day of their income. So around 430 million people will be living in extreme poverty by 2030, and this is the projected figure given by, that's almost 30 million more than the last year projection. And this extra addition is getting caused because of the COVID-19 pandemic that the world has been facing for last 2.5 years. So almost 1.3 billion people live in multi-dimensional poverty. That means not only that they have poverty with respect to the food, but also with respect to either clothing, medical equipments, or with respect to the housing facility. So out of that, 32% are under the 10-year-old and 50% are the children. That is 663 million children are having or living in the multidimensional poverty. So COVID-19, as we have been facing for last 2.5 years, it has doubled the poverty rate in many parts of the world. So as you can see here through the graph, that East Asia and the Pacific has seen almost 239.8 million people who have gone into the poverty because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then the South Asia, Latin America and Caribbean, and so on the various countries, which data is being presented here. So almost 689 million people live in the extreme poverty. That means they make an income of less than $1.9 a day. Children and youth account for 2/3 of the world poor, and women represent majority in the most of the regions. Also, extreme poverty is increasingly concerned in the sub-Saharan Africa. About 40% of the region's people live in less than below the poverty line. Also, extreme poverty rates nearly doubled in the Middle East and the North America between 2015 and 2018, which is pre-pandemic era, and almost 3.8% to 7.2% increase was seen. And this was mostly because of the crisis in Syria and the Yemen. So although countries impacted by fragility, crisis, and violence are home to about 10% of the world's population, they account for more than 40% of the people living in extreme poverty. And by 2030, an estimated 67% of the world's poor will live in the fragile contexts. So about 70% of people older than 15 who live in the extreme poverty have no schooling or only some basic educations. 1.3 billion people in 107 developing countries, which account for 22% of the world's population, live in the multidimensional poverty. About 84.3% of the multidimensionally poor live in sub-Saharan Africa and the South Asia.
Yes, the world around now, almost like more than 500 million people will be pushed further into extreme poverty because of the healthcare cost as well. In the earlier segment, we have seen how the healthcare has been rising for almost like 30 times in the poor countries compared to the rich countries. It is because of the lack of medical equipments and also the medical care as well. The COVID-19 pandemic threatens to reverse years of progress in the fight against global poverty and income inequalities across the globe. The COVID-19 has drawn additionally 97 million people in extreme poverty in the year of 2020 alone, according to the World Bank estimates. More than a year into the pandemic, the World Bank stresses that there is still not much we don't know concerning the impact of global poverty in 2022. So this is the current world now, where one side, the poverty is one of the reasons where many people have been forced income inequalities. Because of that, many people have been forced to death as well. On the other side, so much have been wasted to keep the price and keep the technology, to keep the modernization of the technologies alive. So what is the solution? Here we're going to see about the conscious solution, how we can manifest wealth in our life. On the other side, Kailasa has also taken up the project of Kailasa Ishanya to give the physical support to all the countries in need, to give this wherever it is getting wasted, it can be recycled and reused for all the people who are in need. Now we're going to looking at the conscious solutions, which is given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, how we can manifest the wealth in our life. So solutions to overcome the poverty, how we can create wealth. So before creating, let us understand about what is really mean by wealth and what the real equation, how we can manifest wealth in our life. See, understand life can be equal to two things. One is ability to achieve what we want in our inner or outer world. On the other side, just getting stuck in both the world. There is only two equations in our life. Unfortunately, everybody wants wealth, but they do not increase their life in them to the level they want it. That is the reason many of the people are not able to manifest wealth in their life. The wealth can be equal into life energy you express. This direct equation of the life energy you put and express. In a state equation, because as of now, a normal man has wealth as a first priority in the life. So if you do not have wealth, don't blame anybody. You are not expressing life in you. Life energy is not happening in you. That is the only reason you are not able to manifest wealth in your life. But till now, we are blaming everybody other than us. We are blaming about the situation or the environment or the location, or you're not able to give on the proper opportunity, the employment to give to manifest the wealth in your life. These are the reasons we are till now we have given for the reason of not able to manifest wealth in our life. But the very understanding about the wealth, which can be included into the life energy you express, only by with this understanding, when you bring the reason inside you, it is because of you. You are not putting the life energy, which is not happening in you. That is the only reason you are not able to manifest wealth in your life. So creating wealth is an intrinsic part of all our life. Even Krishna says very beautifully in Gita, Gahano Karmano Gadishi. The universe by its very nature works, works, and works. If you have at least the goal of creating wealth, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. The first priority in the life should be for moksha, enlightenment. Till that happens, the second priority can be creating wealth. Because creating wealth make you always non-violent, because your whole energy becomes creative. Creating wealth becomes tremendous interest in everyone's life, and it can bring non-violence in each one of our lives. So what does mean by wealth? Everyone will have our own understanding about the wealth. We may heard from somebody, or we may have cognized because of our outside understandings or situations. Now let us have a right understanding about wealth. By only having this, we are able to manifest in our life. So wealth is not just an object or a thing to be achieved from external world. It is an extension of you. Anything that adds to you is a wealth. The quality of the health you enjoy, or the state of your relationship, the fulfillment of your experience in your career, your mental state, your sense of inner fulfillment, all these are the measure of success with which you have created wealth in your life. So money is a one wealth, currency is also a one wealth, the assets you're holding are the one wealth, and also being active and alive is also a one wealth. So wealth is neither good nor bad, it is a utility. So what is in my wealth consciousness? Till now, we have been having so many myths and mental pattern which keeps us again and again in the poverty cycle. Now, having this wealth consciousness means having a clear decision to break out of all the myths and mental pattern to manifest the wealth in our life. It's all about wealth consciousness. In today's segment, we're going to see about how we're going to manifest wealth consciousness. And with the blessings of Supreme Fount of Hinduism, we're going to manifest that. We're getting more and more details into the wealth consciousness after a short break. We request each one of you to stay tuned. Nithyanandam. Yes, Nithyanandam, welcome back. As we are getting ready to have a live satsang directly from the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, let us all come to the space of listening. Let us prepare ourselves to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our beloved Guru, Nithyananda Paramashivam. So with that, we'll be entering into the segment where we're going to enter into the live satsang. Each one of you to